Welcome to today's edition of Fight News Now Extra. I'm your host, John Pollock, and what a show we have today. Lots to chat about from this past weekend with both the UFC and Bellator staging events. Bellator announces a fight that no one expected. There's some guy named Dada 5000 that we're going to be discussing for the next few months. And the UFC had a card as well in Brazil. The main event of Saturday's UFC Fight Night event in Sao Paulo, Brazil, featured the third bout between Vitor Belfort and Dan Henderson. After both stayed tentative for the opening portion of the fight, Belfort connected with a left head kick that rocked Henderson. The former light heavyweight champion swarmed Henderson with strikes, sending him to the mat and prompting referee Maro Yamasaki to intervene and end the fight. This was Belfort's first victory since the last fight with Henderson, which took place in November of 2013, and also landed Belfort a $50,000 performance of the night bonus. Glover Teixeira and Patrick Cummins met in light heavyweight action. Despite Cummins' ability to take Teixeira down throughout the fight, Teixeira got back to his feet on each occasion and set the pace in the opening round with his superior striking ability, ending the round with a series of strikes, including a right uppercut. In the second, Teixeira pressed Cummins against the cage and violently connected with strike after strike, prompting referee Herb Dean to call the fight at the 1 minute and 12-second mark of round 2. And bantamweight Thomas Almeida kept his unbeaten record intact on Saturday, stopping Anthony Burchak. Almeida was quick to land his right hand throughout the opening minutes and connecting with a solid combination before rocking Burchak with a left and then using 2 right hooks to end the fight, crippling Burchak and sending him to the canvas with one of the more graphic knockouts of the year. Almeida raises his stock to 20-0 with his 4th win inside of the UFC and also took home a performance of the night bonus. And we shift gears to this Saturday night. The UFC presents UFC 193 from Melbourne, Australia. We will have a 1-hour preview show at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday night with Robin Black, John Ramdine, and myself counting down to 2 championship fights from Melbourne. Here with John Ramdine and Robin Black, and we went into this past weekend with a Bellator and UFC card, and it doesn't surprise me one bit that here on Monday, we are chatting about what happened to Bellator. And you know what? It really had nothing to do with the fights, which is sad because there were some very good fights on that particular card. The new featherweight champion and Daniel Strauss. However, on Thursday, it is going to mark the 22nd anniversary of UFC 1, which featured the first fight between Royce Gracie and Ken Shamrock. And next February, we will see the 3rd fight involving Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie. Listen, Bellator is not ashamed at all.
No, they're not.
This is who we are, and we are going full tilt.
Yeah, but what I like about, there's certain elements that I like about it, and there's certain elements I don't like. Like this is do people really need to see an open weight bout between Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie? I really don't think so. But
you don't think people will tune in to watch
I think
this?
they will.
They might set a new record.
They're going to tune in because it's going to be a train wreck. Unfortunately, we're not talking about Daniel Strauss becoming the new 145-pound champion with an awesome performance. This is a guy that really has evolved as a mixed martial artist. Robin and I used to call fights for XFO, and this guy was just a wrestler who was more than happy to just lay on top of you. Now working at American Top Team, he has a finisher's mentality. He looks sensational.
ATT had a big night on Friday.
Holy smokes, yeah, they looked really, really good. So it's unfortunate that we're talking about these freak show matches when we should be talking about the quality of mixed martial arts that the organization is putting out there.
Hey, man, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I get it.
And what are you going to do? It's a crowded landscape. It's a crowded environment of entertainment. You got to do something, I guess. This one is strange. My good friend Marc-Andre Drolet, who has a webpage, Mad About MMA, he made a very good point. Bellator's announcing that fight. You're not allowed to announce a fight with a fighter that is suspended. And Royce Gracie, still from 2007, is suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Has never been lifted. Still on the books, suspended for that nandrolone fail. So they're not really even supposed to be announcing this fight. Never mind putting it together and telling the whole world about it. But that's maybe a technicality. In the end, are we going to watch it? Of course, we're marks. We watch it all. I mean, I talked about those guys fighting in the hotel. And just like I was disgusted when Cormier and Jones did that, I was disgusted. That's not how athletes should be carrying themselves. I watched them fight. I did. So
now, a year ago, there was so much outrage about CM Punk fighting. Is there a new level now when it comes to Dada 5000?
Yep.
Yeah.
I will fully admit, I'd never heard of this guy when he was brought out. Scott Coker, you could tell the way he delivered it. He knew no one was going to react to this name and almost mumbled his name as this dude with a sledgehammer comes out. It's this 2-0 fighter who used to be Kimbo Slice's bodyguard. The two allegedly had a falling out, and now they're going to fight. And the sad part is, guys, this will absolutely draw an audience.
Yeah, of course
this
it will.
1,000%. This could, you have two of your your two biggest television draws in Shamrock and Kimbo. You're putting them in separate fights. You're not going to be putting Kimbo realistically at any risks, though nothing I discount. But this is what Bellator is doing. And when this number comes out for Bellator 145, let's be honest, it's not setting a record. Despite all the great fighters, this is their mentality. And they are going full in on legends from the past because the public is dictating they want to see this.
And what it comes down to is that, how do we get the masses, the casual fans, to tune in for a train wreck of a type show? And this is what you do. You announce these insane matchups, but you can't just do that. So you'll have these two matchups with Kimbo Slice and Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie, but they're also going to satisfy the hardcore fans by putting in the Pitbulls and the Pat Currans and the Michael Chandlers of the organization in there, so that there's a real reason for hardcore mixed martial arts fans to tune in.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I mean, even like the entrances, some people like the entrances. Like, it is a bit of a show more than a fight, and it's very bizarre because, and you know that Spike is a big part of this, and Viacom's a big part of this, because this is what Bjorn always talked about. He's like, we are a sport. And he wanted to be a sport. If you win certain things, you get to the title.
The tournament, the whole, it made sense.
It's a sport. And he was like, these guys want us to do these freak shows. And I guess Scott's like, hey man, you got to get attention somehow. I don't know. I end up watching it anyways, but Dada 5000, I'm sure he's a good dude, and he does have a lot of followers. He had a movie come out about his life, but this is not, you made a great point with CM Punk. I'm way more supportive of him as a real fighter, training at a real gym, and really pursuing this thing for real than I was a year ago.
Did Bellator find a prospect over the weekend in Dan Henderson? I mean, this could be 10 years from now, we could be seeing Dan Henderson, Vitor Belfort fight for the fourth time at Bellator 250 perhaps. Quick thought on Vitor Belfort's performance. I mean, a head kick that landed. At the time I was watching it, I thought maybe it was too early. Watching the replay, you could see Dan really did get stunned on the ground, and that head kick, I really didn't have an issue with the finish.
Yeah, I think at the time you think about it, it's like, oh, we know what Dan's capable of. He probably could have taken a little bit more, but do you really want him to take
one of those strikes hard on the ground.
Sure. I'm sure if you asked him, he'll be like, oh, I'll have to go back and look at the tape. I felt like I could compete, but Vitor was the better man that night. Vitor looked awesome. This is the guy that you hope is going to be around in 2015, a guy that's still capable of competing with the top guys at 185.
Hey man, skill is skill. You take away the muscles, you still got crazy skill.
All right, that does it for us. Stay tuned though, because we have more of Fight News Now Extra coming up.